Berlin will be soon ready for boarding at gate doors.
Hello and welcome to Berlin. Me and my dad have just arrived in Berlin. We are waiting for my sister. She's gonna fly in later tonight from Stockholm. And I am here for, or we are here for an extended weekend. And I'm gonna take you with me to Berlin's best yarn stores. Quite crazy to think that it's almost 20 years ago. I lived here for 2 years when I was way younger and still a student. But Berlin has so many dear memories for me, so it's gonna be so fun to explore this city, how it's evolved. I have been here, I think last time was around 10 years ago. So now I have 3 days to explore with you. So I am so excited to go and see what Berlin has to offer. Now, when it comes to shopping for yarn abroad, this is not my first rodeo, my friends. I have done videos from Amsterdam we went once, I've been in Copenhagen, I've been in Stockholm, Lisbon we went once, in Madrid, in Barcelona. So I know that it can be a bit of a challenge when you're abroad in a different setting to try to make some good purchases. And what I mean by that is that the amount of times that I've come home with whatever yarn I've shopped and just looked at it and thought to myself, like, what am I supposed to do with this? Or what was I thinking? Has happened numerous times. Another thing that has happened numerous times with me is that when I go into a new yarn shop, I might get a little overwhelmed. The same applies to yarn fairs or these knitting festivals. There's so many nice yarns, and then when there's so many people, I get a little bit stressed. So I have this time decided to take a different approach. I have actually decided on 3 different categories that I'm going to try to obey by when I go into these yarn stores. So I thought I would share that with you, and then we can see how it will work out, if it was a good plan or not. My first category is going to be current color obsessions. So I'm going to try to find specific colors that I've had in mind and things that I'm, currently obsessed with, and maybe with a bit of an inkling towards summer projects. So these are colors and things that I would like to make specific designs, if you will. So the first one actually in that category is going to be, so I have just almost finished my first summer knit. This is going to be called the cornflake top. And I have a vision to knit the same top in a light blue color with red contrasting crochet edges. So I want to try to find like the perfect pale blue and the perfect red for that in like a summer color. Then I'm also searching for a very specific shade of green for a cardigan. I would like to find some really good kind of pale pink blush colory summer yarn as well, and maybe, the red that I was kind of speaking about goes into the same. So those very specific colors that I'm very into at the moment. That is the first category that I'm envisioning. Category number 2 is gonna be the vanilla category. So I'm gonna also allow myself to buy yarns that are in very practical, very kind of adult, very colors and yarns that I know that I will use. So at the moment I am knitting also my second summer knit. This is just a really plain white t-shirt that I'm gonna call the Vanilla Chilla t-shirt or tee. And I always feel like some, for example, colors or shades of whites or very neutrals, I will always use those yarns. So I'm allowing myself for that category, if I find something that really sparks my interest and inspiration, my second category is gonna be the sort of vanilla category. And the final category I'm calling my inner child category. So I'm envisioning this to be a category for yarns that I would maybe normally not buy or talk myself out of buying for the fear of them being yarns that I will not use. They're not very practical, maybe a color or a fiber that I'm like, this is maybe not something that I see immediately being something that I'm gonna be wearing a lot, or even I don't know what I would make from it, but that they inherently spark some excitement or inspiration or just joy. So I'm gonna allow myself for those kind of a bit more spontaneous, intuitive, non-practical purchases as well. So there are my three categories. I have the current color obsessions, I have the very vanilla practical yarns, and then I have my inner child, a little bit of a wild card category. All right, then we are ready to start exploring Berlin. Let's go. We are currently standing just in front of the building, or that's the building where I lived for 2 years when I was studying here. It's very, very nostalgic to be back here. Jo, för jag kommer ihåg den där bänken. So funny, because we were just talking here when we were walking, that it's like weird to come back to a place that you've lived, because you get all these memories that get awoken by just being in the same space. And I don't know, there's like something really nostalgic and nice, but it's also a bit creepy. Because you start thinking about like who you were then and all the things, and I was a student, and the first time living abroad, the first time living by myself. Yeah, so it feels really strange. Almost feels like it's a different life, a different person that lived here, but obviously it was still me. Yeah.
After having lingered in the nostalgia bath for a little bit longer, we made our way in towards the city. And we were pretty close to a craft store that I visited quite often when I was still living here, called Idé. This shop is really good for crafters. They have fabrics, buttons, you name it, they have it. But I was interested in the yarn section. So they actually have a pretty sizable yarn department, but I was more browsing. I wasn't really looking to buy anything here. They had a lot of fun summer yarns, some effect yarns, also some more acrylic yarns in really cute colors, but I didn't end up buying anything. It was just more fun, a little bit nostalgic. This shop was actually close to KaDeWe when I was still living here, so it had changed a little bit the location further down the street, but still very fun to stop by.
Hello, good morning. It is day 2 in Berlin, and we are just about to head out. I think our first yarn shop is going to be a yarn shop called Wollen, that after doing some research, it seems like a really go-to spot for yarn. And yesterday I actually managed to finish my cornflake top. Very pleased with how the crochet little edge here at the hem turned out, so I'm gonna block this now. Very conveniently, they have a full bathtub here, so I can use that to block my top while we then go and head out. We go. A very mysterious entrance. Yarn shop number 1. Let's go. Hello. Hi. Is it okay if I film in here? Yeah. Video. Yeah. Thanks.
Wollen Berlin is a delightful yarn store located in Wedding, which is in the northwestern part of Berlin. The shop first opened its doors in 2011, and after some careful online research, I knew I had to make this part of my trip.
Det här ska vara kiva, en liten scarf.
Wollen Berlin stocks yarns from at least 23 different yarn brands, including some really well-known like Sandnes Garn, Knitting for Olive, Filcolana, Gepard Garn, Direrum Natura, Cardiff, Camaros, Rauma and Mayo, just to name a few, and also included some more rare brands like Mominoki and Retrosaria Rosa Pomar. They did also have some local brands that I wasn't familiar with, like Wool Dreamers, Kietsgarn, and even their own in-house linen yarn called Linomuka, which is 100% linen, and it comes in a whopping 95 different shades.
All right, so I feel like I am getting a good overview. Very, very good selection. So now I just need to keep my head cool and think about the categories so I don't make like weird purchases. I think I wanna maybe prioritize yarns that I can't get home in Helsinki. So now the task of actually choosing yarns begins. All right, that is it. Taking the whole shop with me. Thank you so much. Thank you. See you. Bye. Yay. The post shopping pie. All right, we are about to go to yarn shop number 2 called Knitnit, so let's go and check it out. Okay, we've just come out from Knitnit, really cozy, very cool shop. I didn't end up buying anything just because, I don't know, I just bought so much yarn in that first shop, but very nice. I think definitely worth a visit. They had chaos yarn, which is really nice, but I just couldn't decide on the color. Nothing really spoke to me. They had some Sunday's garn, which I can get at home, so it would be like make no point. But yeah, they have some really nice samples, like obviously much more kind of vibrant and maybe like more of a younger vibe, if you know what I mean. So yeah, a good visit, but came out empty-handed, which is okay. All right, let's move on. All right, we are about to head to yarn shop number 3. This one is called Yarnover Berlin. I also have high expectations for this one. And I think for this one, my main focus is gonna be my inner child category. And then I have one more current color obsession that I'm going to be looking for in this shop. So let's go.
Yarnover Berlin was founded by Marion and Steffi, who first met online through Ravelry. They opened up their online yarn store in 2012 and their first live store in 2018. Marion and Steffi are also the founders and hosts of the knitting festival Berlin Knits, which I have yet to attend, but I would very much like to. Yarnover Berlin is located in the heart of the city in this really cozy inner yard space. And although quite small, it stocks yarns from at least 14 different brands, including La Bien-Aimée, Hedgehog Fibers, Deredam Natura. They had lots of Isager yarns, Malabrigo, Biches and Bouches. They also have their own brand called Frida Fuchs, which includes these beautiful hand-dyed yarns.
I think I'm gonna go with this one. Such a gorgeous shade of cotton. And then this one. Like a light lilac.
Our yarn festival?
Yes, I did. Oh, this is such a very, very cute bag. I will come next time and I will be sure to visit Berlin again. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye. Yes, so successfully been to Yarnover Berlin. I got look at these colors. So nice. All right, then let's start knitting. Okay, let me show you everything I have bought while I've been here in Berlin. Okay, so I think we can all agree the trip has been a success. I have definitely got myself a lot of yarn. So let's break it down, shall we? All right, I think first we need to talk about and assess how my categories went. Did that impact my yarn shopping? First reaction and intuitive, I want to say it was a great success. Now, the reason I did the categories we had the vanilla, the practical yarns, my current color obsessions, and the inner child was that when I went into these yarn shops, instead of feeling overwhelmed and not really sure and being very kind of lost and maybe overwhelmed by all the inspiration, I felt a sense of being more grounded and really being able to first scan through what they had to offer, what brands, and then I could really zone in and look for the things that I had already thought about before. So overall, I would say this was really successful and definitely something I'm planning on doing more of when I travel, or if I know that I'm going to go to a yarn fair or a knitting festival. I think this was overall a really, really good experiment. Now, let's talk about the things and let's tick off the things that I bought. So, the first yarn shop that I went to was Wollen in Wedding. And the first thing that I ticked off my current color obsession list is the green cardigan. So I had some different color greens options in the store that were all really beautiful, but it comes down to very small preferences and shade differences, and I did end up going for Sandnesgarn Sunday. This is the color 9564 called Matcha. I wonder if I did the juice sweater. I wonder if it's exactly the same shade, but this feels like it's a different shade. Well, anyways, that one I held together with a silk mohair strand, so it feels like it was a different shade of green. Initially, I wanted to do it with double Sunday. They didn't have enough of that, so I just opted for Sunday. I can knit this with 2 strands held together, and it will be a great DK weight project. Also in my current color obsession category, I did some Sandnesgarn Line in such a beautiful shade of this bubblegummy pink, but in a bit of a more cold pink color, which was what I was going for or was looking for. And I have not seen this in shops in Finland yet live, so I went for that. I would say maybe goes into the inner child category are these very wild lemony, almost neon yellow colors. This is for knitting for Olive. This is the color lime yellow together with Kamaro's Midnight Soul, which I've never seen before live, and I'm thinking to make a scarf of this. Also, maybe more in the current color obsession goes these red pure silk yarns from Knitting for Olive. These are the color Blood Orange, a very, very gorgeous shade of red. And then maybe the thing that I was most excited about in there, definitely current color obsessions, was their own, Wollen's own yarn called Lino Muka, and it's 100% linen. And they had so many shades of this color, of this yarn, sorry. Really all the shades you can think of, and this is 100% linen, so I was a little hesitant at first if it would feel harsh or kind of hard to the touch, but they had some samples in the shop and I was able to feel the fiber and the fabric, and it was actually very, very nice. And one of the ladies that worked in the shop also said that it softens a lot with wear and when you wash it, so that made me very confident. So I got my light blues and my red for the cornflake top that I'm envisioning these to be with. And then either it's going to be another cornflake top with like a light pale pink and sort of a raspberry pink crochet edge, or this will be one project and this will be something else. I'm not 100% sure yet. So those were all current color obsessions, I would say. And then the final thing I got in Wollen was maybe more of a vanilla category, I would say. Again, Midnight Soul. This is an alpaca, lyocell and merino wool blend. It's more like a brushed alpaca feel. Very nice and fluffy and feels very soft and not itchy at all. So this is definitely vanilla category. I'm envisioning myself making a lightweight cardigan, something I have been thinking about making for a long time. That was the haul from day one. Now day two, so we went to another yarn shop called Yarnover Berlin, and in there I found a yarn that I have never stumbled upon before. It's called Berenice. I don't know, is Berenice? No, it's wondering what the brand is, or is this just Berenice? Like, it feels like this would be a different brand, and that would be the yeah. It is Dererum Natura. That's the brand. So I've never seen their fiber or this base before. Berenice, and this is super kid mohair, silk, and some wool. And I don't know. This is maybe more vanilla / current color obsession. Maybe definitely more current color obsession when I think about it. A very pale lilac, lavendery color. Very, very delicate. I saw a girl with it was a coat in almost this color. Maybe it was maybe a bit more pink. Anyways, it spoke to me, and I knew this is something I'm going to be on the lookout for. And then I also I've never seen Isager's, I wonder how you are supposed to pronounce this, palette? Not sure. But it's 100% organic cotton. And in a very, very nice light blue shade. It's very different than the linen shade I picked up, but I thought this would make a really nice vanilla chilla t-shirt that I'm currently working on. So I got that 350 grams, so I'm hoping it will be enough. And the last little, definitely inner child. I feel like the inner child category didn't get that many yarns, but I got this really cute pink little skein of Yarnover Berlin's own house yarn, I guess, called Frida Fuchs. And this one is their superwash merino, like a little mini skein in the color flamingo. I thought this was very cute and something that would be fun to use as a bit of a contrasting edge to a project. All right, so now all that remains is knitting. I hope you have enjoyed this video, my little trip here to Berlin. It's definitely been interesting to be away from Edwin for the first time. So I'm here, well, we've been here 2 nights, we have 1 more night, so it's the longest time I've ever been away from him. So that was something I've been a little bit nervous about, just how I was gonna cope and how he's gonna cope, but I think it's been going okay. I know he's missed me a bit. I definitely miss him a lot, so I'm excited also to go back home, even though it has been so nice as well to just get to travel, to get away a little bit from just like the everyday routines at home, get inspired, of course, hang out with my sister and my dad. So I hope I will return home just more energized, have more ideas, and just get some new perspectives and outlooks. And yeah, I cannot wait to just get to knit all of these yarns.